21st of January 25, and something Trump's getting all the praise for doing that ceasefire thing, and people should remember what this is. It's a ceasefire in Gaza, um, because of the ceasefire before, like November 23, and after 7 days Israel just started bombing again. So this ceasefire, it's called a ceasefire for a reason. The Hamas have honoured their part of it by releasing some hostages. Israel's got thousands and thousands of hostages, really, or prisoners, whatever you want to call them, political prisoners, you could call, you know. I don't think most of them haven't even seen a court or even had any charge against them, but a lot of them. But anyway, just one thing, I think probably Trump said something, and it's really going to be a bad faith thing on behalf of Israel. Maybe he said USA will give you Gaza, give you the West Bank. Plus, we're going to do other things. Maybe they've got a new part of Syria recently. Maybe he'll let them keep that. But one thing that people have missed out, and also this Middle East envoy's got Witkoff. I think he is a Jewish Israel fanatic. So he's a fanatic. So that's not a very good sign. And he's a billionaire. I don't know how he made his money. Because that's the thing about the politics in America. People know who he is, but I don't know yet. But these people, envoys and that, they just waltz in from nowhere, because it's not like politics in Britain where you work your way up, and people know who you are. Well, not always now, because we've got quangos and that. It's just Trump appoints somebody, and he's got $100 million from Miriam Adelson, who's a fanatic about Israel. So Steve Witkoff. So they've got this, they called it a ceasefire. But one thing that people are missing out is apparently they've mentioned the idea anonymously of, during the quote, the rebuilding of Gaza, that here's someone, an official, telling NBC, they're suggesting, floating the idea of relocating Palestinians in Gaza, most of whom have been displaced by others as well, is being discussed in the context of said rebuilding, with Indonesia being one of a number of locations being considered. So it is interesting that they're saying Indonesia, they're not saying the West, anywhere in the West. And I think that was what Netanyahu wanted. He wanted all the he wanted the West to take in all the Palestinians, basically. I mean, really, what we're saying here is what looks like ethnic cleansing in disguise, and if you want to think of images driving the Palestinians into the sea, or wiping Palestine off the map, these sort of things, So they're talking about Indonesia. I don't think Indonesia even know about it yet. As Foreign Ministry spokesperson for Indonesia denied knowledge of the idea in a statement issued on Monday, which was yesterday. However, the relocations of Palestinians outside of Gaza has consistently been rejected by Palestinians. Well, obviously, because they know they'll not be going back. I mean, even the ones that were pushed out into Lebanon didn't allow them to become citizens, I think. So they're still in refugee camps in Lebanon. Jordan did let them become part of the population. They're now the majority population, but they actually act as Jordanians, it seems to me, in terms of what they want their government to do. Jordan's always sort of, well, they've got a dictatorship anyway, not a Palestinian. A family appointed by the Brits. And in Egypt, didn't take any Palestinians. That's why they're all gathered there in Gaza, because that was the sort of where they fled to when they get kicked out of Palestine in 1948. Some far-right members of Israel's government have called for the forced displacement of Palestinians. So I'm thinking, when people were saying it was great of Trump doing this. I thought, well, Netanyahu's not going to do that. It's going to be some sort of very big bad faith thing. I think they'll be giving the West Bank, and also they're doing stuff there already today, and also probably they'll be looking to move all the Palestinians out of Gaza to third world countries, probably. Maybe pay them a lot of money to. And this is Steve Witkoff. I did wonder about him because he's an Israel fanatic, billionaire, American. A lot of times the envoy seems to be Israel fanatic, really. Almost all the time from the USA. So it's all looking very bad, and I just heard Chaz Freeman talking about it on the Judge Napolitano's programme. Chaz Freeman's excellent on Israel. I mean, he basically tells the truth. So Donald Trump's considering temporarily relocating some of Gaza's 2 million Palestinians outside of the besieged enclave while the enclave is rebuilt, American NBC network, on Saturday. It cited an anonymous transition official as saying that one of the temporary host countries considered for refugees was Indonesia. So here they're floating the idea, and a third world country, Muslim country, probably paid them a lot of money to do it. This is what Netanyahu wanted, although he wanted them all to go to the West, which is what they probably want as well. So it's all looking really terrible, and then Donald Trump said something when he was signing all those things last night. He was in his inauguration yesterday. He was asked, "Do you think the ceasefire holding?" He said he doesn't think so, but it's not his problem or something. He said, and he said, Gaza is great real estate, which to me invokes what Jared Kushner said after October 7th. So to me, it sounded like they're going to drive the Palestinians out into the sea there, or if you want to put it that in terms of imagery, just ethnic cleanse them all. I did wonder about this. I thought Jared would have a big say in it, and just everything that Donald said. He only spoke about it for a minute, but everything he said, Trump, was bad for the Palestinians, bad for those who are against ethnic cleansing, by the sounds of it to me. He said it'd make great, a lot could be done with it. It's a great real estate place, great location. And he said all the Hamas people need to go. Most of them are dead anyway. But I mean, we just saw images of Hamas people there yesterday as the well-fed hostages get released. The 3 hostages who looked like Jewish Arabs to me, but yeah, it's looking really bad. So I really wonder what's going to happen in the next few years. I mean, I can see Europe, the West, cutting off from America, really, because if they're going to behave just too bad, But at the moment, the West goes along with Trump's and Biden's view of Israel, which I think they're wrong about. But the other thing is multiculturalism. That's multiculturalism. We've all got that big thing. It looks like Trump's working on the right way to do with that, whereas Europe isn't. I mean, that is the thing everyone should be voting on, and you should be voting for the likes of Trump and reform because of that, even though it's just as a protest vote. I mean, I don't agree with Trump at all, especially on this. But it's just so sad. It looks as if it's going to be really bad faith in this. In his inauguration, he never mentioned Israel or Ukraine, and he's sort of poorly worded well, it wasn't even worded. I think he was just doing it on hoof. It was just stupid as usual, probably contradictory. I never really watched it. It's not worth watching really, apart from he is the boss. But I really wonder how the democracies will go the next few years, Western democracies, because I think the people are fed up with the way they're structured, especially the old ones. Like Palestine and multiculturalism should both be referendum things in the West. They're just too big. You can't put them in party hampers. Because usually in the West Europe, if you're wanting to sensible migration policies, you've also got to vote in favour of Putin, you know. And why? Why should we have to do that? So there should be really referendums like they have in Switzerland. Switzerland's the only real democracy, in my opinion. It's close to democracy as possible, you know. And over in Trump's looking like a dictatorship as well, so it's not looking good over there. Okay, that's all for now.